Finding drop shippers who can satisfy you and your customers' needs, 2 of 3. Choosing the right drop shipper. Previously we talked about some of the problems you might run into when using drop shippers, and they can be frustrating. But a lot of them can be reduced or even eliminated by choosing the right supplier. Today we're going to look at some of the different factors you should look for when searching for a supplier, and how to find out if the supplier you're thinking of using is a good one. Shipping times. One of the most important things to find out with regards to the supplier you choose is their time frame for shipping. You can have a successful business model shipping from overseas with long shipping times, but it's important to make the longer delivery times obvious on your website so no one can miss it. Some people won't mind waiting a while for a package if the price is right and the product is hard to find elsewhere. But if you're selling common items and your price isn't among the lowest, you may have a hard time convincing people to buy from you instead of a competitor like Amazon that offers fast shipping. Try to find a supplier in your home country, if possible. That is, if you're marketing mostly to people in your own country, that should cut down on shipping times. But if you can't, find a local supplier. Be sure to make the longer shipping times obvious. Return policy? You want to find a supplier that is willing to accept returns and doesn't have extremely restrictive return policies. Some suppliers do not accept returns at all, while others charge a large restocking fee, or they have very restrictive terms. It's important to know the return policy of all your suppliers so that you can craft your return policy to match, but you want to make sure you can send items back if you need to, such as when the company sends the wrong item, or if an item is damaged or defective. Customer service. It's also very important to be sure the company has great customer service. Remember that your customer service is only as good as that of your supplier. If a customer writes to ask you a question about a product and you must wait 7 days for a reply from the supplier, your customer will have to wait just as long for you to respond, and that's not good. Test orders. One important thing you can do to check out your supplier is to place a few test orders. That is good for a few reasons. You can check the quality of the products. You can see how fast their shipping is. You can check their customer service yourself. You can have a few items on hand in case of returns. Check reviews. Be sure to look for reviews of your supplier. If you can't find reviews of them, it's even more important to do a few test orders before using them, but most major suppliers will have some reviews online somewhere. Now let's talk about a really important element of working with drop shipping companies. Handling drop shipping returns. We've just talked about the importance of choosing the right drop shipping supplier, and now we are going to talk about one of the biggest reasons why it's so important to check out multiple suppliers. Returns are a problem for any business. Anytime a customer returns a product, you lose money. Whether it's because you must refund an item you can't return to the supplier, or you must pay the restocking fee because your customer wants to return an item. The supplier won't accept a return without a fee, or you must pay for the shipping, or even because you or one of your employees must take the time to handle the return. Thus, you should have a three-pronged attack plan with regards to reducing, minimizing, and handling returns. 1. Know your supplier's policy and replicate it in your own if possible. 2. Have a solid return policy that always favors the customer but doesn't end up costing you too much money. 3. Keep a few of your most popular items on hand, if you can, to make returns as quick and painless for the customer as possible. First, it's critical to know your supplier's return policy and work that into your policy as well. If you have multiple suppliers, be sure to mirror the strictest of their terms. For example, you don't want to have to deal with angry customers who expected one thing from you and are told by the shipper that they will not allow returns. You want to favor the customer as much as possible in everything you do to keep them happy and loyal, but at the same time, you must protect your bottom line. That often means making hard choices. For example, let's say the customer received the wrong color of the shirt they ordered. They want to return it, but it's a few days outside your supplier's return window. What should you do? You have 3 options. A. Simply have the customer return the shirt directly to you and eat the cost by ordering a new one and having it sent to the customer. That will probably make the customer happiest. B. Tell the customer they are outside the return window and you cannot accept the return. That will save you money, but it may cost you the customer for life. C. Communicate with the company, explain what happened, and ask if they will make an exception given the customer was sent the incorrect item. That is the best compromise if the supplier will work with you. There are also a couple of other options that may or may not work for you. The first one is, as I mentioned earlier, to keep a few of your most popular items in stock just for returns. That is the ideal option, but you might not be able to afford to keep that many items in stock, because you'll have to pay for those up front. The second option is to use a company that specializes in handling returns, such as Returnly. http://www.returnly.com. Returnly will allow your customers to return their items online, including getting an RMA number, and will process the return for you, so you don't have to. They will charge whatever credit card you have on file for the return, and they will obey whatever return policy you have. It does cost a bit extra, but it will save you a lot of time and hassle. In my next and final post in this series, we're going to get into another potential issue you might encounter: chargebacks. Chargebacks can be a huge pain, so don't miss it. Until then, please leave a comment below and follow us on your favorite social media site. Thanks.